He slapped a human soldier. What happened next stunned the galaxy. The mess hall aboard Concorde carrier Veyron buzzed with the usual chaos of mixed-species crews. The clang of utensils, the hum of translators, the low growls of Dominion troopers mingled with the soft chittering of Ilvari cadets. At one table sat a small squad of cadets, still sweaty from survival drills on Ravik 4. Among them was Private Dane Korvac, a Dominion warrior whose crimson scales gleamed with pride and resentment. At his side sat Private Elias Ward, human soldier. He was younger, leaner, and by Dominion standards, far too casual. The tension had been brewing for days. The breaking point. "You humans are arrogant," Korvac snarled, slamming his tray onto the table. "You think survival is a game. You laugh in the face of danger. It's an insult to every soldier who fights with discipline." Elias looked up from his stew, one brow raised. "Or maybe it's just called having a sense of humor, big guy. Keeps you sane out there." The Dominion's frill flared in anger. Around the table, the cadets stiffened. This wasn't banter anymore. "You mock the galaxy with your weakness." Korvac rose to his full height, towering over the human. "You're prey that doesn't realize it's prey." Elias set his spoon down calmly. "Sit down, Korvac. Not worth it." The Dominion warrior's tail lashed the floor. His pride demanded more. With a guttural snarl, he raised a clawed hand and slapped the human across the face. The entire hall froze. No one slapped a Dominion soldier without sparking a duel. No one slapped a Ilvari without triggering a blood feud. A human. Surely he would bow his head. Surely he would crumble. Instead, Elias slowly turned his head back toward Korvac. His cheek was red. His expression was not anger. It was disappointment. "You really shouldn't have done that," he said softly. The response. The Dominion sneered. "What will you do, pray? Call for help?" Elias stood. He wasn't as tall as Korvac, but there was a steadiness in his posture that made several cadets instinctively lean back. Without warning, he stepped forward and slapped Korvac back. Not a closed fist. Not a claw. Just an open-handed, perfectly measured slap across the scaled warrior's face. The sound cracked through the mess hall. Gasps erupted from every table. Korvac staggered a step, more from shock than pain. His frill twitched violently, eyes blazing. "You dare!" But before he could lunge, Elias raised his voice, sharp and commanding. "No weapons. No claws. No armor. You wanted to humiliate me, Korvac? Fine. Let's see who walks away after a fair fight." The challenge wasn't in the words, it was in the tone. Cold. Certain. The same tone humans used when they declared war. The Dominion froze. The entire hall had gone silent. Humans were supposed to be fragile. But Elias wasn't afraid. He was inviting combat. The fight. The sergeants should have stopped it. The instructors should have intervened. But something primal kept them frozen. Korvac roared and swung. Elias ducked. The Dominion's claws cut the air where his head had been. The human struck back with his fist, slamming into Korvac's ribs. The warrior staggered, shocked by the force behind the smaller soldier's blow. Humans didn't have claws. They didn't have scales. They didn't have venom. What they had were knuckles, bone, and an unnatural refusal to break. The mess hall erupted as the two clashed, Dominion strength against human grit. Korvac slammed Elias against a table. Elias rammed his elbow into Korvac's jaw. Blood sprayed. The Dominion howled and swung again, but the human slipped beneath the blow, planted his feet, and drove a punch into Korvac's stomach. The Dominion collapsed to his knees, gasping for air. Elias stood over him, chest heaving, blood dripping from a cut on his brow but steady. He extended a hand. The galaxy held its breath. Korvac looked up, humiliated, furious, but also stunned. He took the hand. Elias pulled him to his feet. "You wanted respect," the human said, voice low. "You earn it. Not by slapping someone smaller than you, but by fighting like a soldier." The hall erupted, not in laughter, not in scorn, but in something far more dangerous. Respect. The fallout. The incident spread across the Concorde like wildfire. Footage from mess hall feeds circulated within hours. Billions watched as a human not only stood against a Dominion warrior but defeated him without fear. Alien commentators lost their minds. This violates every known hierarchy of strength. How does a soft-skinned species endure such strikes? The human's eyes, did you see the way he looked at Korvac? Like predator to predator, military councils convened emergency sessions. If humans could stare down Dominion warriors and win, what else were they capable of? On human networks, the memes came instantly. Slap heard round the galaxy. Who's prey now? Humanity, 1. Galactic pride, 0. Reconciliation. Weeks later, Elias and Korvac were assigned to the same patrol. Tension lingered at first, but battle has a way of reshaping grudges. When a nest of Ravik shriekwasps ambushed their unit, Korvac faltered, his frill torn by venom. Elias dragged him to safety, firing point-blank until the swarm scattered. Later, as Korvac lay recovering, he stared at the human who had risked his life to save him. "Why?" the Dominion rasped. "After I dishonored you." Elias shrugged. "Because you're my squadmate. That's what soldiers do. We fight together. Doesn't matter what happened in a mess hall." Something broke inside Korvac then, his pride, perhaps, or his certainty that humans were weak. He lowered his head. "You have my respect, human. And my loyalty." Elias grinned, wincing at his bruises. "Good. Next time, though, maybe just ask for a spar instead of a slap." Korvac let out a rumbling laugh. Epilogue. The story of the slap became legend. Not because Elias had one, but because of what it represented, a human who met humiliation with courage, who answered violence with resolve, and who turned enemies into allies not with claws, but with unyielding will. The galaxy learned something that day. Humans weren't prey. They were fighters. And sometimes, all it took to prove it was one well-timed slap.